Hey, Nate, thanks for being available here. I appreciate it. First question is, why are you guys boxing rather than getting back in the cage? And if it just comes down to better money, why do you think these boxing matches are more lucrative than a highly entertaining MMA fight?
Well, he's not allowed to fight. I said the same thing. And he's talking about all the holdups with me and the problems he had with me is because I didn't want to box him. I wanted to fight him. And I think boxing is just one of the arts we could do as a mixed martial artist. I don't think the money's in boxing. The money's just in whoever's able to uh, get the fight done and sell the tickets to the fight. I think it'd be a lot better to fight an MMA fighter in MMA, but that's all he's allowed to do. So as long as we can get some type of swinging going on, I'm with it.
Thank you.
Hey Nate, thanks for taking the time. You lost to Jorge in 2019 for the BMF title, and it was due to a doctor stoppage on cuts. How do you plan on beating him in a boxing ring, considering the fight wasn't going your way the first 3 rounds to begin with?
I don't like to make excuses, so I didn't, and now we're here months years later and shit, and months years years later, but I had a torn meniscus in my knee about 2 weeks before the fight, and most people wouldn't even showed up to that fight, but it was a huge deal. It was headlining Madison Square Garden. The president was coming. The whole world was talking about it. So there was no way I wasn't showing up. So I shouldn't even made it into that fight. He criticizing me on my kicks and my kick defense, but I believe I'm better at kicking and kick defense than him or anybody in the game if that's what I was trying to do. But I'm trying to whoop ass, so I'm not concerned with somebody kicking me with little baby kicks in the leg. And anyways, the fight would have been a whole nother story if I was any more than 20% capable for the fight.
Nate, thank you for doing this.
And I hope that I'm lying about that, but that's up to him, and I don't give a fuck. That's what it was.
Nate, thank you for doing this. Just the press events have been very, very wild. Is this how you expected it to be? And if you can describe to us like what you saw in the last press conference, especially when the fight, there was a brawl that broke up.
I don't understand the question. The first part, the what tie?
Yeah, if like the first part was that the press events have been very wild. Like there's a lot of stuff going on in those press conferences. Is that how you expected it to be?
One.
The tour?
Yeah, 200 presses.
Yeah, it was crazy. I'm cool with press conferences and stuff like that, but I didn't like it was fun too. I had a good time traveling around and doing all that stuff, but I think the repeated square offs are a little ridiculous. We're just sitting there looking at each other, and I'm not, like I said before, I'm a real fighter. I don't want to sit there and size each other up in each other's faces and fake like we're gonna fight right there and act all talking shit. I think I like to just get the press conference done fight week and get to the point. So I was over it by the end of it. And I try to not be rude at these things because I don't want to come off like that. But we're in a fight, so fuck it, that's what it has to be.
Thank you.
I heard Conor McGregor express an interest in you. Have you ever spoken directly to Conor? Something you'd return to the UFC for to headline, say UFC 306? With Conor, would you prefer that as like a boxing rules trilogy?
I kind of we're breaking up. Did I hear one more time the question? Did you?
I've heard Conor McGregor is interested in a trilogy fight. Have spoken directly to Conor about you'd want in the UFC, potentially at the Sphere for September, or maybe as a boxing rule tournament on Fanmio.
He's asking if you would have interest in returning to fight Conor at 306, or would you want to have your next fight with him in boxing?
But yeah, I want to get this fight out of the way to think about the future, but I would like to fight him in I would like to fight him in a rematch in MMA. Yeah, 306 would be great if that was even an option, but if not, in the UFC at some point. And the boxing thing is always there too for whoever wants to fight. I want to do big fights and fight the best opponents I can fight for the rest of my career.
What's going on, Nate the Great? So, man, you and Masvidal, you have history, right? You had the BMF thing, you fought once, now you're doing a boxing match. And yeah, like you said, he is, I don't know if complaining is the right word, but he definitely doesn't seem happy with just the way the whole press conferences and everything have been going down. Regardless of the outcome on July 6th, do you think this will be the last time you two compete against each other?
Talking about Masvidal?
Yes.
We're gonna have to see what happens and what goes down. Don't fuck with me at a press conference. I've been at the highest level of press conferences. And if he's crying about it, that's his fault, you know. That's why I don't like to go to press conferences because I don't like to lose sleep at night thinking about what should happen, what I should do, or you know, so I'm just like, if we're not gonna fight right there, then fuck off. And now look at him losing sleep over it or something. That's his problem. Shouldn't try to find me. Did I answer the question? Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's a great question or great answer.
Cool.
Yeah, that was great. Vanessa?
Okay, hi. Okay, so hi, I'm Vanessa from TalkSport. Speaking of rematches and trilogies with Conor, now that he is a stakeholder in the bare knuckle, would that be something you'd consider going over to, considering you are a vintage street fighter after all?
Bare knuckle is not something I'm interested in, but I like the sport of boxing. I like the sport of MMA, and if we're gonna fight without gloves on, we can do it right outside. So I don't need to go in there and sign up to bash each other's faces with no gloves on, and not take you down if I want to. You know, I like bare knuckle MMA. I like bare knuckle boxing too, but at this point in my career, I think I'm good on bare knuckle fighting. But hey, some of these people I need to fight if that's the only option. That's always going to be there too. So time will tell.
I think we'll be happy to see it anyway, wherever it's fought, no problem.
Yeah, I like the bare knuckle boxing show a lot though. I went to it and it was really entertaining. It was good fights. I like how they have the shorter rounds. If they're gonna do it, that's how they should do it. And it was a good vibe there, and it was a fun show.
Great, thank you.
All right, Josh.
Nate, how did you feel about your performance against Jake? And what should we expect this time around?
I think it was okay. He was a lot bigger. I wish I would have had a weight class to make so I could actually been disciplined to do what I needed to do. He wasn't a very scary opponent, so I did a little camp. We went to Riverside and trained at Robert Garcia's boxing gym. Got some good round in, and then from there on, we pretty much went on a bender until the fight. So I wish we could have done things a little better, but it was necessary. So now I could really beat his ass.
Nate, you and Dana White have gone back and forth throughout your career. I'm just curious, how would you describe your relationship with him now? And what does your UFC future look like?
I think me and Dana always had a good relationship. We had our ups and downs about things in the business and how it went, but that was just a part of me. I learned a lot from it. Being in the company for 17 years, and personally, we always had a good relationship. But to make any changes, I had to be out loud about it, and he was the one to make the attacks on, and then he would return fire, and I think it was all for the best. I learned a lot, and we're cool now. We've been cool, and UFC's the best show, best combat sports show in the world with the best fighters. So I would love to go back and fight for a title over there.
Nate, just going back to the last press conference about the big brawl that happened afterwards and the big fight. Can you explain to us like what you saw from your point of view? What happened there?
Yeah, I thought it was an amateur press conference. There should have been security. I noticed right when I sat down, he's right here next to me, and there's no security in there. And he does interviews and he mouths off in the interviews talking a bunch of shit. And when we get right there at the press conference, usually he starts talking all this respect shit and tries to keep it mutual because they don't want any conflict. But I already knew what he had been saying, and I'm like, if this guy's gonna talk shit to me right here, we're gonna be fighting. So I need to get the fuck out of here right now, or the whole show's scrapped. And if that's what they want, that's what they're gonna get. And so I felt like I was the most grown up one in the whole situation. I said, we're gonna fight. I was thinking we're gonna fight right here, so I'm gonna fuck out of here. I've had enough. I think people have seen what we need to see, and what they need to see. And when I left, he started acting like, get out of here, like he was the man. So I was like, well, fight me right now, bitch. And then he stopped in his tracks, and you could tell. I'm like, okay, well then fuck you. We don't need to even be sitting here talking to each other. I'm out. Because I don't want to brawl to the horn, And I think that's what they wanted. I ain't trying to sell no show for them or nobody. I'm just trying to get to the fight like a professional athlete and get the job done. So I was like, I'm out. I said my last words and I was gone. And everybody who wanted a brawl and a fight stuck around. Him, his coach, everybody like, oh, his poor coach. But his coach was in there asking for it. He was at the previous press conferences too. He was talking and acting up, and like I'm at those press conferences as a businessman. That's why I'm there. If I was gonna be a fighter about it, I just wouldn't even go, or I'd go set off the whole shit. So if they wanted to get on some gangster shit, they could have. They had the chance when I was there. But I want to get the job done. I want to show up July 6th. And if I get any shit talk to me and we're going to set it off, I'm going to set it off harder than anybody in the whole place. So that's why I left. And like I said, I saw a lot of interviews and people, headlines talking about, because their fucking coach got involved, like we were a bunch of punks. I'm like, your punk ass coach was the one involving himself in that situation like a little child, and a bunch of fake ass whatever the hell they wanted to be. And they made a scene and they got what they asked for. And the guys on my side, they were me and my half of my team were already halfway at the building. I was in the elevator, the door shutting, and I heard people yelling. I thought, what the hell is going on? So I had to go back and make sure everybody's okay. And I think they acted childish. I think the whole situation was childish, and people will put the blame on me or something. But I think I was the most grown up person in the whole situation, especially the antagonist. What's that guy's name? The guy who was in the middle talking, asking me the stupid questions.
Brian Campbell.
Brian Campbell too. So I need to hold him down a little bit. Slap him around, ask him some questions.
Thank you, Nate.
What do you say, Nate? What do you care about? Motherfucker. Fucking antagonizing a fight right here, you're half the problem. Not him, but in those situations, it's like It's just think about high school. The whole place is starting to fight, but me, I was the bigger man, and I walked away. And that's why we're gonna be there July 6th, because of me. You're welcome, Masvidal and Famio, motherfuckers. Real
All
deal.
right, thank you. Alan?
At the moment, I think I've got connection.
Yeah, it's rough to hear you. Let's come back to you, Eddie.
Yeah, so you boxed Jake Paul, but I believe part of that stipulation was that he would turn around and fight you in MMA. Is that something that's actually going to happen? And if so, where would it happen?
I never talked about that. That's what he talked about. Yeah, I'd fight him in MMA, but not for fucking his goofy ass company. Like, I'm not thirsty to fight. Fight you. He didn't win the last fight. They just said he won. That's fine with me. I'm like, he didn't do shit. So yeah, I'll fight him in MMA too, but not for not on his terms and all his fucking company and all that. When the time is right, the time is right. We'll fight at some point.
All right, Vanessa.
Okay, so after this fight's done with Jorge Masvidal, and hopefully eventually you return to the UFC, is there anyone that takes your interest? Would Leon Edwards be someone that you'd like to do a rematch with, considering he's the current champion?
Yeah, 100%. If I could fight anybody right now, that's what I would do. Fight him right now for the title.
Great, I hope so. Thank you.
Josh?
If I could just get that fight and then if I had to cut this fight just to take that fight, I'd be like, peace. I'm gonna go fight.
Off to the sunset.
Bro, like that's what Masvidal did. I made something bigger than the UFC title when we fought, and then afterwards he should have demanded a rematch, and then we could have canceled that whole weak ass welterweight title out because the guys were weak in the division, and that's what I didn't respect about what he did. He ran off and did what he was told, like he does.
Nate, obviously, you and Jorge are the ones who are generating buzz for the fight, but how much credit does Jake get for drawing so many fighters, MMA fighters, into the ring and sort of, sparking this phenomenon that's still going strong in light of what's happened on the 6th?
Talking about what?
I said this sort of phenomenon that's still going strong. I mean, at one point, maybe people would expect you only to fight in the cage, and now there's so many guys who are willing to go hop in the ring. And
Yeah, that was my plan. That's been my plan for 10 years though. And I was planning on doing all this shit, but I was getting locked down. That's what I was bitching about the whole time I was in the UFC. If I could just get the fuck out, I'll show everybody how to do this shit. So the good thing about him is there was an option and a dance partner. You know what I'm saying? And he's got another fan base and everyone's watching him. So that was cool. That's why I did that, because it was the biggest thing outside the UFC. But yeah, I think a lot of people will have the same have the same ability to do that shit, but everyone fucking people are stupid as fuck. And that's what he's got going on for him. He's aware of what's going on out there, and knows he's got the platform, and people watch him do anything. I used to tell people all the time, like, if I wanted to go be a country music singer, I could get a bunch of motherfuckers to watch, and I could be a singer if I wanted to, but I only rap. But yeah, no, I think it's good that motherfucker. Everyone realizes that everybody wants to see a fight, so good.
Nick, Conor McGregor has 2 fights left on his UFC contract, and he says that he wants to fight you in the trilogy. He's actually always mentioning you by name too. Have you gotten any word or guarantees that that fight will happen? And I'm very curious, how do you envision a third fight unfolding? A lot of times we see when fighters get older, they make fan friendly fights. Do you see this kind of being a fight like that?
Yeah, well, I see it as a fight that needs to happen. You know, we got the second one out the way, and the third should have happened right away also. And at some point it's gonna happen. Yeah, no word on it, if and when and time. There's no words about it, but me and him both know that we're gonna fight again.
Nate, just to follow up on that, are you surprised that the McGregor fight got canceled? And what do you think is happening to his career?
No, shit happens. I'm sure they're gonna fight. It might be pushed back a couple months or whatever. That's what's happening, right? Push it back. It'll happen at some point. Shit happens. I think time will tell, and as soon as everything falls into place, it'll all work out.
Do you think that he can be like the McGregor from before, the one that you fought?
I think so. I think it just everything needs to fall into place, you know. Shit got to get done. People like to make big deals out of small things, so I'm sure everything's fine at home. I think you know, shit happened. That happened when I fought Leon Edwards. I got cut about 2 weeks before the fight, and we called him and we're like, yo, we gotta push the fight back or scrap it, whatever. But I was cut, so I wasn't able to fight that in 2 weeks, and they pushed it back and didn't make a big deal out of it, you know. So this is a big deal because it was this is a big deal because there's a lot of fucking hype around his comeback. So it's a bigger deal to the people than it actually is. I'm sure everything's fine. It just needed a few extra weeks to get back to heal up and get back to normal.
Eddie?
Nate, you want to spit some bars for us?
Man, my bars cost money, baby. We got, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
not my real question.
You want to come down to the studio, though? I'll lay it down for you.
Okay, bet.
My cousin raps. We'll be in there rapping all night. Fucking, it's crazy. He could actually rap though. I just join in for fun.
I dig it, man. So Jake Paul is now boxing Mike Perry. How do you see that fight playing out? And do you think the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight will actually end up happening?
Yeah, I don't know about the Jake Paul Mike Tyson. That'd be cool. I hope it happens for if they both wanted to. That'd be cool. And then Jake Paul Mike Perry's gonna be entertaining. Mike Perry's fun to watch, and yeah, I really don't have no opinions on it. I just think it's gonna be fun to watch.
Are you going to be there?
No, when is it?
July 20th.
20th? I don't know. I haven't even thought about it, but maybe we'll see if it's around and everything's clear
All right, Vanessa?
in Tampa.
You like Tampa.
Yeah.
So I mean, going on from before, so do you sort of intend to now jump between boxing, MMA, or whichever kind of promotion is going to give you the best deal, the most interesting thing on sort of like single fight contracts, so that way you're not locked into something like you were when you were at the UFC?
Yeah, right now I'm doing stuff one fight at a time. And yeah, every time I'm done with something, there's a whole nother talk about something. So I'm not committed to anything, but I'm down for everything.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.